Kao the Kangaroo was undoubtedly overshadowed by the likes of Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon and Croc, and their multiple sequels, all releasing around the same time. The fact that the first game only ever released on Windows PC, Dreamcast and Game Boy Advance surely gave it a disadvantage, too. Its sequel, Kao the Kangaroo, Round 2 did make its way to Xbox and PC in 2003, but it was met with middling reviews. But now, the kangaroo that wears boxing gloves is being given another chance to shine, thanks to an all-singing, all-dancing remake. We've been hands-on with a level from the game, which allowed us to spend about half an hour exploring the world, punching the lights out of enemy frogs and collecting more pickups than we could shake a stick at. Yes, this is a collector's dream. We counted no less than 7 different types of collectibles. Deep breath, there's KAO letters to be found, coins, scrolls, gems, runes, extra lives, and quarter heart containers. Find 4 of the latter, and Kao gets a permanent health upgrade. Others are simply for the completionists out there, with so many to find in each level. You'll ultimately be compelled to replay in order to find everything, if that's your style. Any platformer is only as strong as its level design, and this is where Kao the Kangaroo excels. An easy-to-learn control scheme will have any player hopping and dashing across platforms in no time, collecting hundreds of coins, and investigating every nook and cranny for potential secrets. Whether you're a grown human who's nostalgic for 3D platformers of the 90s or you're looking for a game to play with the family, Kao the Kangaroo hits the perfect combination of fun, challenge, and accessibility. The level available in the Kao the Kangaroo demo offered different elements that are sure to be familiar throughout the course of the game. There are elevation variations to make exploration a true 3D ordeal, as well as environmental hazards you'll need to watch out for, or else you'll suffer sinking slowly into a toxic swamp or drowning in a river. And of course, the enemies, which mostly comprise of semi-anthropomorphic animals who will punch, kick, and throw projectiles at you. Some will even spit fire, so you'll need to quickly learn Kao's movement commands to best dodge and defeat the enemies in each level. Kao the Kangaroo's gameplay is incredibly satisfying, with its levels serving as a microcosm sandbox for the player to get lost in at their leisure. It wouldn't be a 3D platformer without collectibles, and there are plenty to gather in Kao. Coins are scattered everywhere, as well as a certain amount of gems, scrolls and the letters that spell our hero's name. Because the demo was only a single stage, one have no idea what they are needed for, but they sure were nicely and appropriately hidden in crevices between bad guys. Combat in Kao the Kangaroo is simple but effective, with an amount of punching you'd expect from a boxing glove-wearing protagonist. A few bashes of the X button will let loose a 3-punch combo, and once you've built up a special meter you can use Y to send out a powerful shockwave attack. I also got to try out a single-use boomerang, which was particularly useful for sending heavyweights dropping onto unsuspecting frogs for an easy croak. There were a few interesting elements in the stage that I appreciated. One section involved hitting crystals to activate otherwise transparent platforms. Another saw progress blocked by a wall with a circuit puzzle that involved spinning tiles around. I'm hoping that the variety keeps coming in the full release. Given that this is an early game level, it makes sense that the level design is pretty simplistic and doesn't provide a real challenge. That being said, it's still fun to explore with a few secrets hidden throughout the linear path. Each section has clearly readable hazards, though given that the game isn't finished yet there is a bit of jank like some crates not disappearing when destroyed. Something that also feels off is the cutscenes. Simply put, they're bad. The animations are stiff, the writing is cringe-worthy, and I can tolerate a lot of cringe, and the voice acting is awful. You can see for yourself in our gameplay video above, but I think this might be a game where I would prefer Banjo-Kazooie style mumbling or just no cinematics entirely. Visually, Kao the Kangaroo is a real treat and the Unreal Engine proves, yet again, why it's become so ubiquitous. Exaggerated and out-of-proportion anthropomorphic characters blend seamlessly with the detailed and colorful, yet largely flat-textured environments. Tate Multimedia has definitely gone all in on the Saturday morning cartoon look and feel and has nailed it. The large blocks of color stand out from one another and give Kao the Kangaroo an easily understood visual language and style. The music and sound design are exactly what you'd expect, ripped straight from the early 2000s mascot platformer Best of CD. Tribal-ish percussion is the name of the game and it hums along in the background, occasionally rising when you get into combat. The tunes aren't something you're going to be humming 20-odd years later, thank you very much Mumbo's Mountain, but it's nice and adds to the overall spirit of the game. It's difficult to know what to expect after playing just one level of a game, but so far, Kao the Kangaroo seems like a genuinely fun and inoffensive return to the mascot platforming goodness of the late 90s, early 2000s. There are tons of things to collect, secrets to find and enemies to bash. Oh, and also, there are secrets behind the waterfalls. You play as Kao, a kangaroo who much to my absolute horror does not have an Australian accent. Honestly, this is probably the biggest flaw I found with the game. But considering that I was immediately reminded of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger when I started the game, perhaps the change in accent is for the best, so as not to draw too many comparisons to Chrome Studios' excellent Little Ripper. But the comparisons will be made and you can bet your last shrimp on the Barbie that I'll be the one to do them. Obviously inspired by the late 90s early action platformers, Kao the Kangaroo felt really familiar as I jumped, double jumped, and punched my way through the murky level. I'd have liked a more colorful location, maybe like the beach shown in the trailer, but whatever. I'll take what I can get. And as for its inspiration, I actually did a quick bit of Googling as I got to this part of the piece and, apparently Kao the Kangaroo was a part of those early there have been several previous games, and in my 31 years on this planet, I've never heard of them. But I've seen Two Girls One Cup several times. This week. That should tell you enough about me as a person.